Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.
Merry Christmas. Say, I love football. Say this. Say Tampa. Bay. Bay. Tampa. Tampa. Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay. Say Tampa.
Tampa.
Bay. Bay. Oh my God, she's so smart and she's so precious. I love her to death.
Bingo. Uncle Peter. Uncle Peter. Uncle Peter. Where's Uncle Peter? I call him.
What's going on, guys? It's your host, Peter Blake of the Sports Web from my Peter's perspective on Amped Up Sports. And the Tampa Bay Lightning fell in heartbreaking fashion to the Colorado Avs in Game 4, 3-2. And it's not the fact that this team lost, it's the way they lost in controversial fashion. In fact, it looked like the refs clearly missed a too many men on the ice penalty. But all you hear today from fans is that the Lightning didn't deserve to win, that the Avs outplayed them, or that the Lightning in the past have benefited from this penalty. That's not the point. The point is to get the call right. Clearly, this was a penalty that should have been called and it got missed. On top of that, if this has happened in the past, whether it was for the Lightning or another team, maybe that's the problem that the NHL and the league should address in the offseason. If the refs aren't competent enough to get the call right, then what are we talking about? At the end of the day, the Lightning are down 3-1 in this series and on the short end of the stick. For another edition of Peter's Perspective live on Amped Up Sports, I'm your host, Peter Blake. NHL and refs, you had one job to do, and that's get the call right, and you unequivocally failed. Shame on you. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the evolution of Sports Talk Television live here on I Love St. Pete, Amped Up Sports. And I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. We call this the Sports Web on a happy hump day. So how do we start off this edition? Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. On tonight's show, we'll have professional handicapper extraordinaire 1252 Chicago Sports, Mr. Harry the Greek. And, of course, Coach Dezmon Walker, Des Walker, the samurai sack himself of the Chuck Smith Systems. And we'll be taking your phone calls, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. There is a show tonight, Leo Haggerty. I sent you the link. We'll also have the legend on himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions and, of course, Amped Up Sports. And once again, we'll be taking your phone calls as there's some things going on right now, but it's kind of quiet. It's It's a little bit quiet, right? The Lightning are done. The Bucs, less than a month away until training camp. Of course, the big news, Rob Gronkowski still being released. What do you think about that? I know it's from last week, but not a lot of reaction. How are you feeling about that? Definitely want to get your analysis on that to see where they're going, what they're going to go with. Bruce Arians had some interesting comments, if you will. The Rays doing what the Rays do lately, which is lose games from their bullpen. Not necessarily the greatest. Again, Lightning season is over with. Decisions they have to make here in early July about Andre Palat, Nick Paul, as we talked about, Jan Ruda. So it's open for you. And then, of course, we got the National Football League and the Deshaun Watson hearing. Reports say that the NFL could accept a 6 to 8 game suspension. And then there's another report out there, according to Pro Football Talk, that that's not going to happen, and I can't see it happening at this point. So that's going on. Warren Sapp with some comments about Colin Kaepernick, agent firing back. So again, open phone lines if you want to call up and comment on any of this and talk about it. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. No Dennis Phillips tonight. We expected to have Big Nasty on. He had a family situation, so we'll get him back on another time. So we'll have Harry the Greek, we'll have Leo Haggerty, and we will have Coach Des Walker, and we'll get your phone calls as always. Let's go out to the webheads here. Mr. Roger Shu, you're a famous WTOG reporter. First day, not gonna lie, it was amazing. It's amazing for me to be at that TV station. Lots of great things coming, lots of stuff to learn. Not going to lie, a little bit tired tonight because there was so much there today. So I loved every minute of it. It was great. It's great to, I miss the people at Policy Scout. Don't get me wrong. I love those people. But as far as being on the phone with angry customers all day long, I didn't miss it. That's for sure. Definitely didn't miss it.
Yes!
Did not miss it at all. Not one bit. In fact, it was nice not to be yelled at today for once. Probably why I'm not married and single at this point, because I don't want to be yelled at. Just saying. So that was nice. Learning a lot of stuff there from WTOG. A lot of great things to come in the future. As always, unblock Troy. I didn't block him. He's not here tonight, I guess. He's not interested. I didn't block him. I swear to God. Maybe he got blocked by YouTube. Who knows at this point? Who knows what Troy is doing? 1 minute Troy is Troy, and then the next minute he's Rex Grossman. He can't figure out what he wants to do. That's Troy. That's on him. Roger Shu says, Av just a better team. Yes, I get it. I get what you're saying, Roger. I understand it. Christopher Cole, hey, Peter, and everyone. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go out to Leonard Fournette. He was on the Rich Eisen show on Thursday, and he was talking about Tom Brady, because I know everybody's interested in this, of how much power Brady really has with this team. And from these comments, it kind of feels like he has a lot of power with the team, like we didn't know that already, honestly. I don't know, Roger, why are you texting me that? I don't know what that is. At this time, I was a free agent, so I don't know if I was going to return to the Bucs or not. Future was uncertain. Once again, Fournette was on the Rich Eisen show last week. So I just went around shopping, see what teams had in store for me. When I went up to New England, he texted me and he was like, man, what's your ass doing up there? I said, man, just shopping around, seeing what's good for me, trying to see what's available for myself to provide for my family. And he was like, man, I'll call you back. Next thing you know, Tampa calls me with an offer. Of course, how many people think Leonard Fournette is going to have a good year for this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team? I think he's going to have a great year for this team. I think they're going to have to depend on him more on this running game. I think the offense kind of changes just a little bit at this point. And that's not a bad thing. We've talked about it on this show many times, how this Bucs offense is a lot better when they have a balanced attack. But going back to the comments, looks like Leonard Fournette is exploring other possibilities. You know, being wined and dined by the New England Patriots. And guess what? He decides to come back to Tampa because Brady gets him a deal. Just saying. I'm getting all kinds of texts here. I don't know what is going on here. All right. Let's go on to I Love St. Pete. Ed Gross. Mr. Ed there says, Peter the Great. Appreciate you. Let me fire those cannons as always. And then Natasha with the hi, Peter, and the lips there. So I kind of like that.
Yes!
Thank you very much. Appreciate you, Natasha. Thanks for tuning into the evolution of Sports Talk Television. So that's definitely one item. I still have some doubts about this team, as I think a lot of Bucs fans should. I get it. They're, a Super Bowl favorite at this point. Anytime you got Tom Brady, but you lost Rob Gronkowski. And this is one of the things I was talking about at the studio today. Yes, at the TV station. It's nice to say that with the people there. What's going on with Rob Gronkowski? What is it? Is it money? Is it health? I don't know. I like to know. I like to be in that conversation. I like to know, does it come down to dollars and cents for Gronkowski, who most certainly is a first-time Hall of Famer. First ballot, easily. He brings so much to this offense. I keep on putting it out there. 80% of the offense runs through Rob Gronkowski. And then you add the fact of Chris Godwin most likely not being 100% to start the season. So there are some concerns here. There are some valid concerns on my part. What do you think? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Bruce Arians was on the Test for Two podcast, and this is in care of Joe Bucs fan, with the great Ira Kaufman, who is not a stranger to this show. He's been on the radio show before on a radio station in a galaxy far, far away with Clark Judge. And Arians explained his new role in Tampa Bay. It's a what do you think job. How about that, huh? He's a consultant now. Everybody asks me, what do I think? And they know they're getting a brutally honest answer. Whether it be owner Joel Glazer, GM Jason Light, head coach Todd Bowles, offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich. It's been fun going to practice, watching and learning some more, watching us change, looking at the new guys. Man, that draft class is going to be a home run. Looking forward to getting to camp. So what's the trade-off with having a Todd Bowles as the coach and now Bruce Arians as a consultant? We'll see how that works out. I definitely think the defense is going to be a lot better. I think the offense, there's some questions to it. Big time questions. That's what I think, Bucs fans. What do you think? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. With the Bucs news, of course, we talked about Deshaun Watson. Baker Mayfield was asked recently because it's all assumed that Watson is going to be suspended for longer than a year, as he should be. And I know I keep on killing this dead horse, but look, 24 allegations at this point. People are going, well, he settled. Well, that doesn't really mean much of anything. I tell you what, we got Harry the Greek there right in the lobby, so we'll get him on. But let's go out to our phone lines. Let's go out to Mr. Ed himself. Ed from Palm Harbor, welcome to the Evolution. You're leading it off tonight here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. What do you have to say, my friend?
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's going on?
Congratulations on the new gig, by the way.
Huh?
Congratulations on the new gig.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate it. It's first day so far. It's amazing. That's all I have to say. It's amazing. It's great. I love it.
Time job for you.
Well, yeah, it's a job that I've always wanted to do. Be a multimedia journalist or a multi-skill journalist, which kids at home, if you don't know what that means, basically you shoot your own footage, you edit your own footage, and then you voice it over and get on camera smile and say, hey, I'm Peter Blake of WTOG CW44 News at 10. That's what you do. All right, go ahead, Ed.
Cool. Do you have like a cameraman or something from the studio?
No,
How does this?
I do it. And well, I know Harry the Greek there in the lobby is pointing to himself, but no, Ed, it's just me.
Okay.
I'm used to that. It's okay.
Okay.
It's all right. I'm not scared of that stuff. I've done that stuff before. I mean, how do you think this comes about? Do you think I have any production crew at all? I got production crew in the back there. What are they upstairs living? No, I'm setting all this stuff up myself. You've seen it.
Okay.
All right. So what do you have to say about Gronk not being there retired, or what else do you want to talk about?
I think they need to get a veteran tight end, but it's got to be somebody that's going to be able to play.
Right.
I don't think they should pick up a veteran that's just going to get hurt. You know, Jimmy Graham, he was great, but he's past his time.
Okay.
You know, and he's been hurt a lot, you know, the past couple of years. And I just, I saw him get hurt quite a few times because my wife is a Bears fan. So, yeah, I've seen him get hurt quite a few times when watching Bear games, but and he really didn't do anything that spectacular. I mean, as far as I could see in the past year or two. But anyways,
yeah.
So I think they need to find a guy that is going to be the every down guy.
Well, it's tough to find that. It's very tough to find that out there. You know, they're not growing on trees, and that's what I keep on telling people. And to keep people. Well, you know, they're going to be okay without Gronk. You still got Brady. Wait, whoa. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, Brady, but Gronk is an inline blocker who's going to help in the passing game and also help in the running game. He's got physicality. You know, it's not like, well, you're just losing some tight end off the street. You know, you're not losing O.J. Howard. Okay, even though Howard is gone with the Buffalo Bills, you're losing a guy that's very productive in this offense. 80% of the time, he is a part of the offense.
Yeah, I have no problem with them letting Howard go because he was just getting hurt.
Right.
Every year he was out, you know, most of the year.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
It was really not. It's really no loss, major loss, you know.
Well,
I mean, when the guy was healthy, he was great, or he was good. I
couldn't stay healthy.
He was good, but he couldn't stay healthy.
Right.
So he's no good to you if he can't stay healthy.
Correct.
And so I honestly think we're going to be hurting there if we don't find somebody.
Well, so you're not in favor.
A couple of rookies.
You're not in favor.
A couple of guys.
They did, and we'll get to that in a moment. You're not in favor of Jimmy Graham, 35 years old. You're not in favor of him.
No.
Okay.
I don't think. I think we're going to have a Richard Sherman 2.0 thing. So I think.
Okay. All right.
Richard just go out there and he's just going to get hurt, and then no, I'm not in favor of it. You know, a few years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, hell yeah, right? Yeah, man. Let's get him on the team. Let's get him signed up.
Correct.
Man, could you imagine we'd have had him and Gronk at the same time?
Yes.
Jimmy Branstad.
Right.
We would have killed it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well.
But maybe they could just what is the problem?
Just put him in a hyperbaric chamber, okay? That's what you need to do. Just don't be like Antonio Brown where you freeze your foot or something, you know, go into a chamber, freeze your foot. Don't do that. Just put him in a hyperbaric chamber. You know, try to preserve him. Yeah, you're exactly right. He's not necessarily what he used to be. But on this team right now, when you have two rookies and Cam, I like Cam Brate. He just again, you know, that's the thing with this tight end room. You know, not healthy. Cam Brate hasn't been able to stay healthy consistently. Great stuff, Ed. What else?
So what's wrong with Gronk? Why does he want to retire?
I have no idea. I have no idea why he announced the retirement. Is it money? Well, it could be the fact that he's just beaten up at this point and he's ready to move on.
I mean, he did get a punctured lung last year.
Yeah, well,
that's pretty rough.
Well, absolutely, definitely rough. Yeah. Yeah.
So a lot of people in my atmosphere are very upset about how.
I can't hear you there. I don't know what happened to your phone line. You're okay?
Okay. Are you there?
I'm here. I'm here. I can hear you now. What do you have?
Right. Okay. So a lot of people are complaining about how the Lightning lost. I'm just like, you know, and I say this all the time. Just to do a bad call or no call. I'm like, hey, you just never leave the game. Don't do it. And the one other thing I want to say is I do agree that there needs to be a rule change. out. I think it's ridiculous that you can't review anything. I mean, that just makes no sense to me.
Okay.
I don't get it.
All right, good stuff, man. Let me go ahead and give you the woo.
Woo! All right.
Appreciate the call. Use that second call. Thanks a lot for calling the evolution of Sports Talk Television. All right, my friend? All right. Yep. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. I don't know what his phone line was doing there, but open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. All right, let's go ahead and get him on. Here we go. All right, professional handicapper extraordinaire, my co-host of the Sports Web of 1252 Chicago Sports, Harry the Greek. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. How you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm feeling pretty good, buddy. Feeling pretty damn good. How about you?
Like I said, coming in, it was an amazing first day at the TV station.
Dare to defy.
Dare to defy. I dare to probably try to sleep tonight because I'm a little bit tired. So we'll see how long this show goes.
Yep.
We brought it in. We talked about it. My concerns about Gronk, so we won't go into that. But Leonard Fournette had some comments on the Rich Eisen show, and it basically said in so many words he was considering going to New England. We knew this from Tom Brady's press conference, but even more so, basically Brady says to Fournette, what the heck are you doing? Why are you up there? Get back down here. And then all of a sudden he signed. So to me, not only are they thinking that Fournette's going to have a big year, but on top of that, Tom Brady definitely has some power in this organization, right?
I would definitely say that he does. I mean, but again, there's still a lot of rumblings about Saquon Barkley coming to Tampa Bay. It wouldn't be a bad thing. I'm telling you, he's not the power runner that Leonard Fournette is, but man, is he elusive. Boy, oh boy, is he elusive. He's just a dynamic running back. I'd love to see him here in Tampa Bay.
Well, so to me, and I get that. I understand that. And I get that he was, former first round pick, but he's not been able to stay healthy. And then on top of it, what are the Giants going to ask for at that point? And then
you give up a first and a second rounder for a Saquon Barkley.
No.
He's worth every penny of it. And I'm going to tell you why.
No.
Last year was his first time back after the ACL. He hasn't had a problem staying healthy, Peter. He had the ACL. I mean, it was a freak thing. I mean, he was relatively healthy through college. He's a dynamic running back. You know what? Maybe not a second rounder, but I'd give a first rounder for him. But Tampa's not going to give him a first rounder.
No.
But even if they did, Peter, what's the difference if they give him a first rounder that's the 30th pick in the NFL draft and in the first round? It's like giving him a second rounder anyway.
That's true. But again, you have a pretty full room there at running back. Not only do you have a Fournette, you have a Rashard White, who you drafted in the third round. You also have a Keyshawn Vaughn, who you drafted in the second round.
That experiment's done.
Oh, I've already given up on these kids? I mean,
no, not kids. Kid.
Okay.
He can't hold on to the football.
So Keyshawn Vaughn is done.
I am not a fan of Keyshawn Vaughn.
I don't think he's got the reps.
I've seen enough of what I've got to see out of the kid.
Okay.
When they gave him what they were supposed to do, if you try to make him an every down back, maybe I might have a different opinion of him. But when you get sporadic inserts into the game and all you do is you have a 50% fumble ratio, there's a problem with that, Peter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know any way you want to look at it. You're supposed to take advantage of the situations that are given to you in the National Football League, especially when they put you in there.
It's a good point, but again, I don't think he's got necessarily the reps. We're on with Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire, and then also of 1252 Chicago Sports. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. You draft a kid in the third round who Herm Edwards compares to Marcus Allen. I'm here for it if he's Marcus Allen.
This kid's unbelievable.
Okay, so you're making my point for me, my friend. I mean,
okay.
why would you give up a first or a second or even a third round pick?
Because it's Saquon Barkley who can. Well, he's also been on a New York Giant team that absolutely sucks monkey balls. Okay, let's just be real. Okay, the guy can catch the ball. The guy can catch the ball. Okay, he can run the football. I dare to defy you. Now,
What is your name?
Please do not do that.
No, but seriously, he
Right.
hasn't played in a very good team. Could you imagine a kid of that caliber playing behind Tom Brady with the
Yes.
hands that he has and the elusiveness that he has?
Yes.
All I'm going to tell you, he's a proven NFL vet. The kid that's sitting on the bench that they just drafted, he's dynamic in college. I've seen a lot of dynamic players in college that don't pan out. I don't think that's going to be the case. That kid's going to be really good. But could you imagine that 1-2 punch? Honestly,
I like
come on.
I like Lombardi Lenny a little bit. I know I've been hard on him with been very critical of him, I should say.
With the victim of volume.
Well, look, he's in Kansas City. So we'll see how that all plays out because he's going to get every opportunity. I don't think Andy Reid is going to ask him to catch the ball consistently. And if they don't, and then just give him a chance to run.
Wouldn't that be a pile of poo-poo? If he
Well,
turns around, wouldn't it be a pile of poo-poo if the kid ends up catching 50 passes in a season? I mean, really think about that. I mean, that would you'd be like this.
We've seen it before. It's not like we haven't seen it before. 2 years ago during that Super Bowl year, he nearly had 1,000 rushing yards. Not many catches. Getting better in that area. Needs to get better in that area, but we've seen it. We've seen the potential. He's just inconsistent. He took a step back last year. I'm sorry. The Bucs needed to get rid of him. Took a step back. I hate to say that.
I can't believe you said that.
Yeah,
about your boy Lombardi.
About
your boy the victim.
I got you. All right, let's go.
For those of you that have been following my picks, I'm really sorry about yesterday. If you notice, it went up 2 losses. Okay, but the wins didn't increase. That's still pretty hell of a thing to do. But if you have time, make sure you jump on BetUS. Of course, that's the account that Peter likes to promote. Play the Chicago White Sox tonight on the road at the Angels. You will get the Chicago White Sox at plus 200.
Whoa.
Tonight. Yes, they are going up against Shohei Ohtani, but hey, the White Sox have Michael Kopech on the mound. He's very difficult to beat. And they don't think there's going to be a lot of runs scored in this game because the total runs allowed are 7.5, and it's even money to go under. But to go over, you have to lay 120. So stay away from the over or under on it. Take Michael Kopech and the Chicago White Sox. And tomorrow, you'll have to stay tuned.
Stay tuned tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday.
Yep, you have Atlanta at Philadelphia, Milwaukee at Pittsburgh, Cincinnati at the Cubs, San Diego at the Dodgers, Minnesota at the Guardians, Yankees at Houston, and Oakland at Seattle. I kind of like the New York Yankees on the road at Houston at even money.
Wow. Okay.
You have Severino against Garcia. Minnesota has Archer on the mound at the Cleveland Guardians, and Bieber's on the mound. He's minus 145. I don't particularly care for that.
Bieber's on the line there?
Yep.
No.
Justin Bieber. Milwaukee Brewers have Hauser. Oh, that's nice. The Milwaukee Brewers have Hauser on the mound at Pittsburgh with Brubaker. And everybody knows how much I love home underdogs. Play Pittsburgh tomorrow at plus 140. Get it in early.
All right. What were the 2 losses you had last night? And
why? Don't even talk about it.
Come on, let's talk about it. That's what we do here on the Sports Web. We talk about some losses here.
You're killing me. Let me go back through here and I'll tell you what it was. One of them was the White Sox game. They were down 3-0.
Right.
And they came back and won. I played the Angels yesterday.
Okay.
And I kind of liked them yesterday. And unfortunately, the White Sox came back and won. Fortunately for them, but unfortunately for the others. I also took the Athletics over the Yankees. And they ended up losing a heartbreaker at New York. They lost a heartbreaker 2-1. And let me tell you something. Yeah. They were plus 350. You're getting 3.5 to 1 on your money. So these losses that I'm making, they're not by much. And believe me, the price makes up for the pick. You can't bet the Yankees at home when they're like minus 400. It's just like unheard of. You just can't do that.
Let me ask you this. You've seen the success of the Yankees earlier on in this season. It's almost all-star break. Can they continue this pace? I mean, this is amazing by this team. And then, of course, the big-time question, Aaron Judge, how much money is he going to get in this offseason with the year he's having?
FYI, I don't know if you knew this or not. You can go full screen. Let me get really close.
Yeah.
Stop pitching to him. He's really good.
He's really good. I mean,
Oh.
right. He's able to stay healthy. He's really good. He's also had his health concerns. I mean, why do you think is it the health concern by the Yankees the reason why they're not giving in to his salary demands? And at this point, if they continue this track, you're forced to pay this guy, right? Eventually.
You're going to end up having to pay him. Do you know who he reminds me of, but actually better?
Who's that?
I'm going to give you a couple of hints. Let's see how good you are at this. He currently plays for the Detroit Tigers and probably for the past 17 or 18 years.
Oh, that would be Mr. Yeah. Mr. Hit Machine himself, who can also hit home runs.
Miguel Cabrera.
Yes. Yes. He
It-
started out with the Marlins, by the way.
I know he did, but let me tell you something. Miguel Cabrera probably hits for average a little bit better than he did back in his prime, but this kid reminds me of Miguel Cabrera, man. He's that good. I mean, it's just almost sick. What that Yankee team has done, well, let's just be real. They buy all their players. I mean, it's just sick what they've done. But that lineup from top to bottom, that's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It is.
Absolutely unbelievable.
I'm just wondering if they can keep that pace. All right, let's go out to the comments here. Sitton says defense wins championships. Absolutely. We were talking about Todd Bowles and how your favorite, and we'll get back to that in a moment after we read these comments. BA now has a new role with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as he was explaining it on a podcast yesterday. I can't wait to see the left guard battle. I don't really necessarily think there's a left guard battle, although it is a good point. With the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they did draft in the second round Luke Gadecki, who, look, there's comparisons there with Ali Marpet. I think they assume that he's going to win that role, although you still have Aaron Stinney, who came in for Alex Kappa when he was hurt.
Well, Kappa's done now.
Right, Kappa's done, right. So you have
done.
Aaron, he's with Cincinnati. But you have Aaron Stinney there, and then you also have Nick Leverett. So there is some, and then also the kid they drafted last year from Notre Dame, who could be in that competition, who for some reason escapes me, and the name escapes me right now.
I know who you're talking about, but let me go ahead and expound on this a little bit.
Sure, please.
In this type of offense that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to enforce, in my own personal beliefs, especially having a defensive-minded coach, as they have, I don't think you're going to have the risk it, no biscuit type of mentality that you've had in the past 2-3 years with this team, to be honest with you. So therefore, since you're not going to have to throw the ball 35 or 40 times a game, it's not going to be as imperative to have that superstar left guard in there. Now, do I think that Tampa's done trying to bring in players? Absolutely not. They're definitely going to have to find a left guard. But I will tell you this, if they run the football like they think they're going to run the football, it's a lot easier to run block than it is to pass block. Just ask the Chicago Bears, who had an absolutely atrocious line. Peter, you were watching it before.
Yes.
You got Jason Peters, who's probably younger than you, okay? I'm sorry, older than you. What am I talking about?
He's definitely older than me, especially in dog years. And
okay, but let's just be real.
He looked like an old dog.
He did, but I'll tell you what. Did you know he had one of the highest ratings of the left tackle after the second half of the season?
I believe it.
Just chew on that for a little bit,
right?
Because it takes a while to get into football shape. But man, when he was run blocking, oh my God, he was pancaking people. It's so much easier to run block. I didn't mean to get off on a tangent, but I don't think it's going to be as imperative for the Buccaneers to go out and find themselves a left guard yet, because they are going to run this football. And when you run the football with efficiency, pass blocking becomes a lot easier because defenses are expected to play the run. The teams that pass the ball all the time is when the defenses pin their ears back, and that's when you have to have solid left tackle, right tackle, and an extraordinary offensive line. That's why I think Tampa is going to be fine.
And it's Luke Gadecki. I think that's the way I said it. He's a small college guy, and again, he's getting compared to Ali Marpet. So you draft a guy in the second round, more than likely you think that he's going to come in and start right away. And the great thing is that he does have that attitude where he's going to push people around. You need that aggressive attitude when you have an offensive line. And it's a loss. It's definitely a loss. I mean, you lost Ali Marpet at 28 years old. You also lost Alex Kappa. So there are some questions, although you replace the right guard spot with a Shaq Mason, who was one of the highest rated guards last year.
And don't forget, backup centers play the guard position as well,
Robert
just like
Hansey,
guards.
Robert Hansey is the guy also they drafted out of Notre Dame. So
okay, he's a good player.
Yeah, he's a good player. And there's some question now that Ryan Jensen signed that free agent deal. Where does he fit in? Does he fit in depth? Of course, he's a depth player, but is he going to challenge for the left guard spot? So I see where Mr. Cole is going with that. Juana says, hey, Peter and Harry, what's going on? Juana?
Hi, Juana. How are you?
Just got done driving, so I'm able to catch your live show now. Appreciate it. Let me go ahead and fire those cans. Thank you very much. Let's go out. Be safe, by the way. If you're driving, keep us on Bluetooth. Don't be looking in the screen and not looking at the road. We don't want to cause any accidents. Yes, Peter, you are giving us something to think about. Good. Thank you very much. Christian says, Harry, the best 89 and 47 jersey in NFL history off the top of your head. Go. 89 and 47.
The best 89 jersey I've seen, if I'm not mistaken, was a former Chicago Bear and a former head coach, Mr. Mike Ditka.
Oh, very nice. Okay.
47, if I'm not mistaken, played down here in Tampa Bay. And Peter, I'm going to let you have that thunder on it. Probably one of the best safeties ever to play the game.
Mr. John Lynch. Mr. John Lynch, who, by the way, is what? Is he he's a Hall of Famer now. Hall of Famer, John Lynch.
And
right?
you know what? He should be a Hall of Famer for his general manager skills as well.
Oh, he's done a phenomenal job, although I don't know what the quarterback situation there is. I really don't.
It doesn't make a difference. They're just going to plug and play those players in there.
I'm
They're
sorry.
going to run.
I don't have as – look, you were the guy that said they shouldn't draft Mac Jones, and we got Leo Haggerty coming in here in just a little bit. We'll get him on. I said draft Mac Jones. I like Mac Jones, and I know
you and your Mac Jones.
That's right, Mac Jones. That's right. I still owe you a steak, and you owe me one too. For the
that's pretty good.
Look at your boy over there, Trey Lance. I mean, what has he done?
My boy.
Yeah, your boy.
My boy. I never liked Trey Lance. I don't like anything out of North Dakota State. What are you kidding me? The one that came out of North Dakota State that stinks that's going to Washington now, he's not going to be any better. Give me a break.
You're not a Carson Wentz fan? No?
Oh, zero. Washington's in serious trouble this year.
To go back to San Francisco, I love John Lynch. But to me, if that quarterback situation was settled, then why do you still have Jimmy Garoppolo on that roster?
Because Jimmy Garoppolo is a much better quarterback at this time. He gives you your best chance to win.
That's
they have a great. They have
overall. That's a problem.
Hold on, but when Tom Brady wasn't coming back, I remember you and the rest of these Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans, including yours truly over here, was going, "Please, Jimmy, come to Tampa Bay. We really need somebody," because no one's believing in Kyle Trask, and nobody's believing in what the hell is his name? Ray's favorite kid who plays
Blaine Gabbert, your boy.
Yeah, Blaine. Let me tell you something. Blaine Gabbert would have been just fine in the system.
Oh God, I'm sorry. I can't buy it. 13 and 35 quarterback. He's been with some crappy teams. I get that. I just can't buy Blaine Gabbert. I'm sorry. I would rather have
in a running offense, Blaine Gabbert, he's not the most elusive.
So you think Bruce?
He still has.
Let me get this straight. You think that Tom Brady doesn't come back, because we heard the comments already from BA that if Tom Brady doesn't come back, BA coaches this team. You think that BA would have ran the ball more with the Blaine Gabbert?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. If Bruce Arians was coaching this team, he'd still be chucking and ducking it. Then the Bucs miss the playoffs with Blaine Gabbert. However, with this new head coaching regime, this team still makes the playoffs with Blaine Gabbert. They're that good with these players. They're just simply that good, Peter.
All right. I guess I'll give you that one. I still think Blaine Gabbert stinks. I would have rather have a Jimmy Garoppolo. The point is Jimmy Garoppolo is a better quarterback than Trey Lance at this point. That's the reason why you should have drafted a Mac Jones. Just saying. There you go. My point is being made. Let's go ahead.
They didn't do it, Peter.
No, they didn't do it. They didn't do it. And yes, you're still waiting for your steak, as I'm still waiting for my steak after Chris Godwin signed his deal with the Bucs.
I've cooked for you so many different times.
I want a steak.
Spare me.
I look.
Spare me. Here,
stop trying to get out of it. Here's the spare me for you. All right, let's go out.
I dare you to defy me.
I'm defying you right now. Here we go.
Begin. Is that little Leo?
It is.
Yes.
All right, former coach, scout, and now media member of Amped Up Sports 9 Sports Productions, Mr. Leo Haggerty. Welcome on location in where? Seattle, Washington? And the internet again is on dial-up AOL. Thank you very much, Leo.
Bring me back in. Hey, Leo. How you doing, Leo? Everything okay? How about now? Is everything good?
Oh my God!
Hey, buddy.
I think Leo. You're frozen at this point.
But Peter, we're having some weather issues.
I'll tell you what. Call in. Yeah, call in. We'll get you on there. Call in.
You like that, huh, Peter? Hang on.
Yeah, that was.
Is this a little better?
Will you shut up and be quiet?
Shut up!
All right. Let's see here, Leo. Let's see if we can get him back here. Hold on.
There's my buddy. Where's my buddy? Where's little Leo?
There he is. Let's go ahead and go out to him. Leo Haggerty on the phone. What's going on with the weather situation there?
Well, it's like been 50 in the 50s the last couple days after being in the 90s. So we're having a little bit of storm situation out here, and for some reason it's showing that my internet is not connecting well. So you're just going to have to deal with my face for radio, right, Peter?
Well, absolutely. I tell you right now, I always tell people whoever live in Washington, I mean, if I had to live in Washington and it rained, 200 times a year, I'd probably be sleeping a lot because anytime it rains down here in Florida, I just want to go to sleep. So I don't know how people live in Washington, but 50 degrees, God, that sounds so good at this point. Leo, we were talking about what's going on with the Tampa Bay. Will you shut up and be quiet, Harry? We were talking about various things here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, namely Leonard Fournette and how much Tom Brady has power on this team, where basically the conversation goes, what are you doing up in New England? Get down here. And then eventually Leonard gets that big-time contract. Now, Harry believes that the Bucs should trade for Saquon Barkley. Do you think that's a possibility? Or do you like the running back room as it goes right now with the Fournette, of course, a White, the third-round pick, and a Keyshawn Vaughn, who they drafted, second or third round just a couple years ago?
You know what, Peter? That all depends on what the philosophy is from an offensive standpoint. Are you still going to throw it 40 times a game? And then your running back room is fine. If you're going to run it 40 times a game, then you may want to come up with an upgrade in some way, shape, or form. And
that would be who?
Do you think Saquon Barkley is an upgrade, and how much do you think it would cost the Bucs to give? What would the Bucs have to give up in order to get a Barkley from the Giants?
A second or a third.
See, I could do a second or a third round pick for a Barkley. The problem is the guy can't be healthy, but he's ultra talent. I'm not giving up a first round pick.
But hold on. I made a mistake. But you see, that's where intelligent people come in. Just like Mr. Leo Haggerty. He sees the intelligence. He sees the brilliance in bringing a Saquon Barkley in here. Don't you glare at me, Peter Blake.
That's what I see. I see this right here.
How about new?
That's what I see right there.
How about new?
All right, so we talked about Gronkowski, his impact there. I mean, Jimmy Graham, 35 years old. Is there any tight end out there besides the Graham that you think can come in here and help this situation out? Or could the Bucs, and I'll go back to BA here because we know his new job in care of the podcast that your good buddy Ira Coffin was doing. He's basically a consultant. He says he's pretty happy with this tight end room. In fact, what he has to say is, I really like the room right now. I love the young kids we got in there, and Cam Braid, a good veteran player that Tom really trusts. Now he's not Gronk. That size and what he brings as a blocker receiver, I think, is unmatched. You don't replace that guy, but we also have Cody McElroy. I think it's time for him to break out as a receiver. I mean, that to me, that's a consultant, but is BA throwing out smoke screens out there where the Bucs could possibly go out and address this position eventually?
Well, you're not going to say, well, I'm really disappointed with my room.
Right.
And we got to get somebody, because all of a sudden that price goes up. So, again, they're going to be the company line. Yeah, we're happy with what's going on. But behind the scenes, I think they're looking to upgrade at tight end. They're listening to the Giants. If the Giants want to try to trade Saquon Barkley, that's something I think they're doing as well. But again, I don't think they're going to mortgage the farm for Saquon Barkley or for a tight end.
What about a wide receiver? Is there a lot of concern there? Because we hear, conflicting reports that once again, we know the Godwin injury was a significant one, but what you keep on hearing from players coming out of camp, and I wouldn't expect him to say anything else, but, don't expect Godwin to miss that much time. He actually may come back earlier than a lot of people expected. Do you think that's what the Bucs and the organization are banking on?
I hope not.
All right. Peter, again, we don't know the severity of the injury.
Right.
Is it Jonathan Isaac 2 years, or is it going to be Peterson 9 months?
Right.
Again, that's just something we don't know. They're going to give it away. And we saw what the injury toll takes when they finally came out and the Lightning kind of laid their cards on the table and said, okay, here's what we got. And they were, that was like 1776. Who's got the pipe? Who's got the crutches, and who's carrying the flag? It was like, okay, let's try to get through this and see where we can go. That's amazing what they got going. But again, I have no idea what Godwin's injury is. I put it in just under a year. I said November 1st. Okay. Anything before that would be a blessing.
Let me interject if I can. In all seriousness, and I'm not gonna, I'm gonna tone it down a little bit. I'm gonna be a little bit more serious when I'm speaking about the Godwin situation, because I really like Chris Godwin. I always have. But let's go back a couple of years ago when he was injured and he had the pin put in his hand, and they brought him back, and he just, he wasn't really laying off for catches. And then he had the hamstring, if I'm not mistaken. I think there was something wrong with one of his legs, and his hand was completely healthy. Hamstring. And they brought him back, and he just really wasn't himself. So if you think for any reason that Chris Godwin's going to be 100 at any point this year, I think you might be a little bit mistaken. I think you're going to get a little bit of false hope. They better not hurry this young man up, because number one, they invested a lot of money in him. Leo, I think you're going to have to agree with me when I say that. ACLs are not the easiest thing, because you know what? From someone that's already suffered from an ACL, not once but twice, it takes a long time to even feel normal on your feet, because to be honest with you, when they put that ACL in there, it's really tight, and cutting left or cutting right, sometimes it gives you that little bit of a twinge. It's not the easiest thing. And trust me when I tell you this, there's not that many Adrian Petersons that are out there. That was a very freak thing. Okay. And Chris Godwin, the last time I checked, doesn't look anything like an Adrian Peterson's physique. Do I think he's going to be all right and he's going to be beneficial this year? Yes. But I do not believe, with the history of injuries that he's had and what he's shown, that he'll be 100% until the following year. And look at Saquon Barkley, the same thing.
Yeah, it's a good point.
And again, Harry, I agree with you. It's going to take that first hit and for him to walk away from it. That's the big thing. You're just going to be really, really gun shy of somebody putting a helmet on that knee or putting a shoulder pad on that knee. And again, I'm going to go back to the NFL. They have made it such a hard way to tackle. Anything above the shoulders is no-no now. What do you got left? You got left from the stomach on down.
Yep. And it's not so much the tackling, Leo, that I think that Chris Godwin's going to be really, really
to me, it was a legal hit. I mean, it was a dirty hit by the Saints. You watch the replay.
No, Peter, no.
It's a dirty hit.
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's all you got left to do. The dirty hit, according to the NFL, would have been if he hit him in the head.
Well, I'd rather hit somebody. Honestly, Leo, I'd rather him get hit in the head, and this is what I worried about.
Would I.
Right.
Peter, you ask any receiver, hit me in the head.
Yes.
I make my living with my
Leave
legs.
my knees alone.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And
But
the
what I'm-
NFL
but-
decided, okay, we're not going to allow those hits to the head anymore. There's not a whole lot of things you can do.
Yeah.
And
I think you're right, Leo, that the hit to the knee, it's going to have to take one, but I don't think that's going to be as big as concern. With all due respect, Leo, you know, it still hurts because that ACL is still tight in that joint. It's cutting. You know, when you have to start thinking out there when you're running patterns, you're not as efficient. That's why I think that's going to be his biggest hurdle to overcome is the way he's going to cut. Is he going to be able to put his foot in the ground and turn and twist or cut left or cut right? You kind of understand what I'm saying by that?
oh, Harry, and you know what? Go back to the Super Bowl and look how the Rams injury, it was the exact, it wasn't a hit.
Odell
it was a
Beckham.
cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, you know, that's exactly what could happen. And
Yeah.
you got to be really careful. Everybody talks about, well, he's running at 19 miles an hour. Is he cutting? I don't think he's made a cut yet.
Nope. And that's what I'm talking about.
Well, I mean, it's encouraging that he's
It's
running
not so much the hit. It's not the hit
right.
so much as it is the maneuvering, the cutting left and right. And let me tell you something. What makes a great wide receiver in the National Football League is his ability, his candid ability to be not only just elusive on his feet, but to be determined on what he's going to do. It's not just the head fake and which way the body's going to go. That's all well and good. It's about sticking that foot down there with precision and being able to cut, because that's what makes a really good wide receiver. Hands and route running.
Guys, and let's go to Clay Thompson out in San Francisco with the Golden State Warriors.
Right.
During his rehab, he re-injured another part of his body, and he was out another year.
Yeah.
So again, this is something we don't know. It's trial and error with a guy who it's first happened to. They don't know how it's going to go down.
Nope.
They just got to sit here and figure it out. Again, go back to Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz ran 2 plays after he got destroyed on the goal line by the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't right ever again because he just didn't trust making any movement on that leg. And again, it's about 50% physical. It's about 50% mental. Okay,
Yep.
I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this yet. So, you know, he's got to get by that hurdle, and it's a big one.
Do you think the Bucs are going to, be in that mindset where they're going to be cautious with the Godwin because he does mean so much to this team? You can put him in the slot. You can put him on outside. We know that he's a third down target. Could the Bucs as an organization be more cautious? If you're running this organization, Leo, would you be more cautious to make sure that he's not only in the right physical standpoint, but also mental?
I would err on the side of caution.
Okay.
Definitely.
I would.
Okay.
I would make sure, because if they lose Chris Godwin for another year, that's a big hurdle to overcome.
It's a major
Because
loss.
Then your general manager gets hailed from being one of the best from what he was able to do for 2 consecutive years to being an ass because he rushed that kid back to the field too quickly. And that is exactly what I'm talking about right there. They spent a lot of money on a Chris Godwin. You cannot rush this young man back, no matter how much he wants to play. It's 2 different things. And you're right, Leo. 50% of it's physical, 50% of it's mental. And sometimes it's even more. Sometimes it's even more like 60 and 70% mental.
And you know what? You know how I can tell if he's good being rushed back? See if he's wearing a knee brace. If he's wearing a knee brace, he's being rushed back. Receivers want no parts of that because it
You're right.
curtails. There's your semi-SAT.
Oh, listen to you. Listen to you tonight.
It curtails your mobility tremendously.
Hang on. Let me get my dictionary.
And I can remember Joe Juravic came out, and he said, they want me to wear this knee brace. I can't move with it on. And that was the thing. You're making your living with your legs and mobility. If you have no mobility, you're coverable.
Well, speaking of a quarterback that's made his money supposedly with his mobility, that would be Colin Kaepernick. Warren Sapp had some interesting comments. In fact,
I want to hear this.
I heard it was a disaster talking about Kaepernick's workout. I heard it was one of the worst workouts ever. He says the tape didn't get out. Why haven't teams signed him? Now the agent for Cap has come out, and Jeff Naley, and said, I guess Warren didn't talk to the general manager or the head coach. I spoke to Ziegler several times, and he said he was in great shape and he was throwing the ball well. Warren Sapp, he is a lot of things, but he's definitely not a liar, right? I mean, where do we stand on this? Is Sapp just talking, trying to get his name out there in the headlines again to be relevant, or is he on to something? And look, if he has so many great workouts, why hasn't an NFL team, Leo and Harry, signed him by now?
Harry, I'll let you go first on this one.
Thank you. I couldn't wait to go first on this one. First off, what was Ziegler supposed to do? Oh, right. He was horrible. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me with that following that Kaepernick has?
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Right.
With the millions of people and the cult type of atmosphere that he actually brings forward? That poor general manager was in a complete lose-lose situation. Okay? Right. I'm going to have to side with Warren Sapp. You want me to tell you why? Because he's played the game of football. Okay? And he knows when he sees good quarterback play. Look, I had no issues with Colin Kaepernick as the athlete back then, but the game has passed you up, son. It's time for you to go out with a bow. You're done. That's it. No more. Stop. Please, people, stop clamoring for this guy to have another shot in the National Football League.
He's been out of the league for 6 years.
Hold on. And he sucked, the last 2 years that he was in.
Right.
Okay?
Right. His coach is not coaching anymore in the National Football League. That would be Jim Harbaugh. That is the coach that got the most out of him.
You know what would be the best thing for him to do? Call up your old coach and say, Jim, are you looking for a QB coach down there in Michigan? Please?
Why not?
I need a job.
Or call Mike Glennon's agent, because that agent is a genius getting Mike Glennon so much money. Glennon has stolen so much money from NFL teams. I mean,
yeah, he did.
I mean, Glennon is still in the league. People look at it and say Kaepernick, but I think Kaepernick wants more money than he's leading on, right, Leo?
Let's be honest, guys. If he could play, he'd be on a team. Not one of the 32 teams think he can play. Michael Vick came back. Why? They thought he could play, and he could. Colin Kaepernick, you could have all the tryouts in the world, but he wasn't willing to get into football shape. And football shape means you need to gain a little weight back there at quarterback to absorb those hits of those Volkswagens that are coming in to hit you. He wasn't willing to do that. San Francisco cut him, and he didn't catch on with anybody. Not because of his political affiliation and views, but because of his ability.
There you go.
Money.
Well, you know who beat him out of quarterback, guys? Blaine Gabbert.
Hey.
Leo, let me interject with one thing right now and just be honest.
Yes.
Would you take Michael Vick at 100 years old or Colin Kaepernick to lead your football team if you had to have one of these two quarterbacks? Honestly.
Jeez.
Are you talking to me on that, Harry?
Yeah, I'm talking to you, all right?
I'm talking to you.
Michael Vick in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. Even at his age right now, because he could, I mean, come on, man. Really?
At least consistently. I mean, yeah, he needed a system. And of course, when he got older, his skills deteriorated, but he'd still throw the ball. I don't know about Kaepernick and him throwing the ball. You look at his completion percentage the last couple of years, it was downright dreadful.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody flick a wrist like Michael Vick running full blast, opposite direction, and flick the ball 65, 70 yards just from the wrist.
You know who could shut him down? The Tampa Bay Buccaneer defense.
Absolutely.
I always loved Derek Brooks being quarterback spy and just Vic trying to get out of the pocket and basically getting nailed. That was just
Oh, Peter, you're watching the wrong game. They got 200-plus yards on the ground the first time Vic showed up against the Bucs. Monty Kiffin was beside himself. I asked Rondé Barber, I said, Rondé, when is Vic at full speed? He said his second step. I said, what year is he in? He said he's in 5th year. They couldn't catch him. That was the thing. Now, what they did is that, and please don't think they put a spy on Michael Vick. That's a wasted player.
Okay.
Because you can't stay with him. What they did was they contained him. They didn't let him escape outside. They made him step up and then make a move. That gave their linebackers and their inside people a chance to get a hit on him. But believe me, Peter, the first time he showed up, there was no answer for Michael Vick by the Buccaneers.
All right, I'll give you that. Let's go ahead and go out to the comments here. Boom. Funny how that works out. Hans says Christian. Christian again, I thought Harry was going to say 47. Sabby Piscatelli, former Cardinals safety, also former, Rams safety and former Bucs safety, and also turned as a wrestler and did none of those well at all.
Listen, when you got a good last name like Pescatelli, okay,
Look,
the Sicilian from New York.
They compared him to John Lynch. Okay, there were Buck fans out there comparing this guy to John Lynch. It was ridiculous. That's why comparisons are asinine. Hi, Leo, says Juana again. I thought we weren't supposed to bring the nonsense, Harry. Laugh out loud. In that case.
Hang on. Let me bring it to you. You want me to give you the 3 things?
Give me the 3 things. Yes.
Bring your passion, bring your excitement, and bring all that nonsense. Don't you forget it.
Please don't bring any nonsense.
No, bring it all.
You're full of nonsense.
You know what? I got to say one thing. I got to give a shout out because I know she's out there probably watching. Hi, Teresa. For all your auto parts needs, make sure you do visit your local Advanced Auto Parts.
Yes, we can sponsor that on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television.
Without question, it's coming.
Yes, I love it. All right, Juana says, and Leo's still on with us. We'll get back to that in a moment. Bad weather does affect the internet. That it does. Or if you have Spectrum in this case, it also affects the internet.
Yes! It could just be Leo's hardware.
Well, but Leo has evolved with his hardware. I mean,
yes, he has.
He has. It goes live almost every day, every minute, every hour on Amped Up Sports. Definitely check it out. Bucs should sign Jimmy G. Jimmy Graham. Juana says, great analysis by all of you concerning the players. Christian says, if Brady is the quarterback of that team, along with the rest of that talent on the roster, Godwin should be able to rest until November at the earliest, in my opinion. Christian again. Let's not forget to bring up the head coach that chose to play Gabbert over Cap was trash, though. And Christian, again, I like Harry saying better. I'm down to bring the nonsense. You can bring the nonsense if you like to, and I can also do this to you.
Shut up!
Get the cat out of there right now.
Hey.
Yes.
You can't talk to Turbo like that.
It's Turbo. Hi, Turbo.
This is Inkers.
Oh, Inkers. Okay. All right, let's finish off with this, guys. Deshaun Watson, this situation just continues.
Oh, my buddy?
Go, yeah, your buddy. According to Rob Mady of the Associated, yes.
This poor cat, look at the look on his face. You know why? Because Deshaun Watson wanted this cat to give him a massage. Look at him.
How about you?
Push? Yeah, that's what he's saying. Look, pushing away. Poor thing.
Oh, geez.
Look how traumatized this poor cat is.
Shut up!
Don't start something, okay? Don't do it, Harry. All right, according to Rob Mady here, guys, of the Associated Press, I am told the NFL, despite insisting on indefinite suspension, wants to avoid the appeals process. And again, we got Coach Des Walker there in the lobby. We'll get him on in a moment. To avoid the appeals process, sources say a terrible situation for everybody involved. So league is most likely to abide by Sue Robinson's ruling if she came back with 6 to 8 games. There's another source out there in Pro Football Talk that said this is ludicrous. It's not going to happen, that they're going to seek once again a year or longer. You're the over-under guy, Harry. How long is Deshaun Watson going to get suspended?
Long enough to where Cleveland ain't going to want him.
Wow, that's probably longer than a year. What do you stand on?
Because let me explain something to you.
Yes.
There's going to be half the country is going to be going, oh, that's BS. He should be able to play. The NFL just has it out against him, and the other half of the NFL is going, hey, we're just going to ban watching you guys. You can't have some sicko coming out there, who just takes advantage of women like that. So he's in a they're in a lose-lose situation. I still hail the Houston Texans GM is GM of the year for what he got for Deshaun Watson. You and I talked about it on air. We've talked about it off air, Peter.
Yep.
That was a fleece job from the get-go. 20-plus allegations. And if you've read them, there's some real sick things that are involved in this.
Yep. Very sick.
I say, and I'm going to say over a year.
And I think the Texans are going to be implicated in this, and the NFL needs to definitely make an example out of Watson. And, of course, the Texans, if they were giving him non-disclosure agreements. Leo, where do you stand? We've kind of talked about this over and over again, but I got to beat a dead horse because it continues to go on, and it just gets worse and worse. Where do you stand? 6 to 8 games? Maybe the NFL suspends him for a year. He appeals, and the NFL doesn't want to go through the rigmarole, if you will. And they settle for 6 to 8 games. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah. I can definitely see that, especially when you've got the owner of the Washington Redskins / Commanders basically.
Did he just say the R word?
Well.
No, he said the Commanders.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Commandos, by the way.
Yeah, and now understand this. If you talk to former players, they don't call them the Commanders. We'll leave it at that.
Well, I mean, they don't call them that. You're exactly right.
There's something wrong with the word commando and depends.
Well, they're commanders, but I tell you right now,
but it depends, right?
Commandos, the way Daniel Snyder right now and all the allegations that are coming out. I mean, it's sick.
Peter, here's what's
I'm
going to
so
happen.
sorry, guys. Get off of here. Go,
Okay.
Bandit.
That's okay.
If the NFL suspends Deshaun Watson, I think the NFLPA comes back and says, what are you going to do with Daniel Snyder?
And Jerry Jones.
They'll do nothing. They'll do nothing. That's part of the good old boys club. You know that.
Okay. Then the NFL Players Association comes back and says, how can you suspend this guy when you look the other way with the owner of the New England Patriots?
Because they've already done it, Leo. They did it with Robert Kraft down here in Florida.
Exactly. And that's where the NFLPA will come back and say, hey, look, until the guy is convicted of a crime, and that will be the key. If he's convicted of a crime, then the suspension will come out. But I'll tell you what.
How many allegations does he need, Leo? More than 26?
I mean, it's
that's only let's just say there's only 25. Okay, just throw a raw number out there. Do you really honestly think there was only 25 incidences?
I will bet you.
Just like Robert Kraft, you don't think that Robert Kraft kept going to the same rub and tug every week when he was down here?
Shut up!
I'm being honest.
I will bet you. Yes.
All they got to do is have one allegation where he's convicted. Now the NFL has a leg to stand on. Until then, they are allegations, and allegations are not crimes.
You're right; they're not crimes. But although the NFL has suspended players like an Ezekiel Elliott because of a pattern of behavior, and I think that's where Goodell and the NFL is going to go with this situation. Leo Haggerty, go ahead.
Hold on. Don't let my boy Leo go yet, because this is where this is going to get interesting. What about the conduct clause in the National Football League that every player has to sign, Leo?
What about the conduct of the owner?
I agree. I think.
Listen, I'm not supporting Daniel Snyder here.
No,
I'm not.
I think that's where the NFL Players Association is going to come in, and are they going to be strong enough to make that case? And you could say, look, there is a double standard in the National Football League with the treatment of a Daniel Snyder, of a Jerry Jones, of course, of a Stephen Ross in that nature, and a Robert Kraft.
Let me throw this out at you.
Sure.
Why doesn't the NFL come back and go to the NFLPA? We're going to suspend Deshaun Watson for a year and a half, and we're also going to go after Daniel Snyder.
I agree.
Will you accept it? I don't. I think that's the only way the NFLPA accepts this.
And they've been trying to negotiate something that basically fell apart. So I think the NFL is going to have their way. In fact, I'll bet you a steak dinner, my friend, that Deshaun Watson's not going to play this year. Maybe.
Don't fall for that steak dinner crap, Leo.
Listen,
okay,
you owe me a steak dinner too for Chris Godwin. So
Leo, don't fall for that steak dinner thing.
At this point,
don't fall for it.
Full of nonsense. That's what you are. So promote yourself, my friend.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. Go to Amped Up Sports. Luckily, we are still going to compete and keep Peter's perspective, even though now he's moved big time, which I am so happy for him.
Thank you.
And go to Amped Up Sports. We've got a lot of stuff happening, and I'll tell you what. I think that come football season, you're going to see a plethora, SAT word,
very nice,
of new and exciting content coming out of Peter Blake with WTOG.
You can bet on it. Good stuff as always, Mr. Leo Hagerly. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons. Appreciate the call as always, and have fun up there in Washington, my friend. All right.
Bye, Leo.
Yeah. Hey, Peter.
Yeah.
I want a porterhouse medium well. I'll leave it at that.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, I want a New York strip well done, my friend, with the potatoes and everything, all the works, my friend. Thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you. All right, sounds good. Let's go ahead. Hold on a sec here. I think this is Curtis. Curtis, stand by. Let me go ahead and get Harry out of here. Harry, go ahead and promote yourself when we get the Samurai Sack on. Go ahead.
What in the world is a Samurai Sack? Bring you back in.
What do you mean?
What is a Samurai Sack?
The Samurai Sack right there, Mr. Coach Des Walker, who is part of the Chuck Smith system. There you go.
What's going on, Harry? What's up, dog? You ain't meet me yet, man. How you doing, dog?
What's up, my brother? How you been, man?
Doing good.
You listening to all this nonsense up in the back room there?
Oh man, Peter, that's my man, dog. My man. Well, I call him Blake. My man's Blake. That's my dog, man. Yeah, he look. Hey, I'm digging the background, man. Looking a little grown and sexy with the background with it, Blake.
Yeah, man. Yeah? Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
He needs to tighten this up a little bit, don't you think?
Tighten up a little bit. What are you talking about? Be quiet.
Shut up.
All right. By the way, I'm not shaving my beard. I got news today by the TV station job. They're okay with the beard. So there you go. It's trying to start something, Harry.
Oh no, don't worry about it. All it takes is a couple of free oil changes and half price on tires, and you'll be shaving that beard that quick. And I'll get a hold of your program director. Son, you have no idea. You don't know the power of the Greek. What are you, crazy?
Oh, my God. All right.
I'll tell you what. Thank you so much for having me on, Peter. You can catch me live Friday evenings on the Over-Under on 1252 Sports Chicago. My co-host is Mr. Peter Blake. And sometimes Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, you'll find me up on Amped Up Sports and on the Sports Web, along with yours truly, dare to defy him, Mr. Peter Blake of the Sports Web, a WTOG. That's right. Oh, look at him. Oh, he's just payment proper. I work for a TV station. Yeah.
All right, man. Love you.
See you later, brother. Take care. Hey, man, nice meeting you guys.
All right, good stuff there from Harry, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire. Let's bring him back in. But before we do that, I got to go out to the phone lines here. Let's go ahead and get him on. Curtis from Newport Richie, welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with the Samurai Sack, Coach Des Walker of the Chuck Smith Systems. What do you have to say, my friend?
Well, I don't know, but I just logged in and I know Leo was getting off, so I wanted to see what the topic of the night was.
Well, the topic of the night to start off here, and let's start. I'll tell you what, how about you call back in about 5 minutes? We're going to talk pass rushers. I'm going to get Coach Dez's his thoughts on the new signing by Akeem Hicks, all right?
I got you.
All right, stand by. Call back in about 5 minutes. Let's talk about it.
First, let's talk.
Yes, let's talk about Mr. Akeem Hicks. A lot of people saying, look, they should have kept Sue. Obviously, this Buccaneer organization felt like they could get Hicks. It's not that big of a deal with the contract, even though it's listed as $10 million and only counts about $2 to $3 million towards it. So it's basically a steal. Mm-hmm. Is this an upgrade with an Akeem Hicks on this defensive line? Of course, next to Vita Vea.
I'll say this. It's an upgrade from a locker room, from a hunger, a change up. It's a different type of motivation in having Akeem Hicks come into your organization. You know how like sometimes you get the feeling of when guys go to like the Golden State Warriors and like, oh, this is a different lineup. Oh, you guys are trying to win a championship. So the fact that he's on a former Super Bowl championship team, he wants to take the memories, the camaraderie. He wants to be a part of something that's greater than himself. Now, losing in terms of on the field talent-wise, we all can agree he's on the back end of his career, and it was time for change. You didn't see the Buccaneers open up about getting D tackles out the draft. They didn't 100% get exactly who they wanted, so they had to go get it through the free agency. But most definitely, if the Bucs wanted Sue, he would have been on the team right now, man. Hakeem, man, he's another great, powerful guy to partner next to Vita Vea. And as we talked about a lot of these time, Blake, and a lot of the Bucs guys that I do work with down in Tampa Bay, they want D tackles that are agile. They want dogs that not only got great technique, but they want to give you that extra effort to help create chaos and help the guys like Tryon on the edge get more sacks and whatnot. But they want them big dudes that can move. They don't want any old school shade and just stopping the run. They want guys to go get after the quarterback.
All right, guys, you want proof that he works with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Here you go. I'm going to try to mute the noise here. Let's see here. There it is right there. There's Nacho. Who's that right there?
Elijah Ponder. It's Kobe Smith. Right there. There go Beanie right there. There go big Vita Vea in the build. Hey, Vita can move, man. Look at this right here. Look at that little bob. That's what we call the little bob, the little wiggle right there.
Okay.
So what you see, they go, oh, Nacho, man, he just toying with him right there, man.
Let's talk about Vita Vea and let's talk about Nacho as we watch this video right now. I mean, this is what the Chuck Smith systems does, right? I mean,
absolutely.
Go ahead
we're teaching these pass rush, these DNs, D tackles inside anybody in the front seven. If they're serious about getting double-digit sacks, they come to myself and they come to Chuck Smith, man, straight up. So what we work with, some of the things that you were just seeing in the video, they were working different moves and different movement to help them get sacks. Like I just told you just now, the Buccaneers, in terms of their D tackles, they ain't playing. If you ain't got power and if you ain't got movement, they don't really want you on the team, man. No one wants the old school guy. Because remember, there's a stat that came out last year, Blake. They're throwing the ball over 55% of the time now. So back the old school true nose guards and true just run stoppers, they're starting to not be involved into the game. Now from a goal line standpoint, maybe red zone standpoint, where they need to root hog or they just need to stuff the gap. Yes, but from a standpoint of you playing 1 through 4 down, dog, they need you getting after the quarterback, because last thing I checked, they're throwing on first downs now. But as you can see in the videos, man, and as experienced throughout the session, I noticed with the Buccaneers, man, guys get along. The Super Bowl camaraderie and guys having how can I say going through adversity with one another, man, they're hungry to go repeat, and they're hungry to get back in that playoff action. I can tell you that right now.
Samurai Sack, and we're on with Coach Des Walker, the Chuck Smith systems here on the Evolution. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Do you think that played into the decision for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? They're trying to get better and faster. We heard from BA during the Combine that they wanted to get a defensive tackle. They got one in the Logan Hall. We'll get back to him in a moment. Yeah. But did that play into their decision to where they want to get after the quarterback more? They didn't think they could do that with Sue. They think they can do that with Hicks, of course, if he stays healthy. Absolutely. Is that where they play? Is that why?
Absolutely. Well, it's plain and simple, man. One of the top priorities of getting into the draft, they wanted Devontae Wyatt out of Georgia or whatnot, but Logan fell in their lap, and that's also a great pickup as well. But you can tell the way that, you know how they say, hey, you need insiders. You need insiders for left and right to understand what's going on. You do need insiders for clarity, but you can see how a team operates and move in terms of where they want to put their priority. And yes, they're trying to have a good the Buccaneers, they rotate everywhere. You got Will Golson, he plays on the edge, he plays inside, plays in the forehead. They move him, they move him throughout the game, man. And what having versatile and Vita Vea, you see in the Super Bowl, they played him inside, they played him at DN, they played him. They want versatile D linemen, and it is almost, as you can say, a basketball term in pass rush. It's a position. You guys are starting to play a positionless pass rush front seven. So if you can't rush out of all five, all the different techniques from the 6, 3, G, 2 odds in the shade, the Buccaneers, they're not really trying to I don't want to say mess with you, but you're not really high on the status of what they need. The one thing that King Knicks, man, they give him a great, powerful guy on the inside. I'm not 100% sure what his age is right now, but like you said, he's been through a lot of injuries, but he has one of the meanest forklifts in the NFL in the last couple of years. And him partner up with Vita Vea, man, that'll be a great 1-2 punch.
Explain the forklift. What's that all about?
Forklift, guys, is when you guys, if a lot of you guys are probably familiar with the bull rush. So if I come in, I'm sticking in the bull rush. As I come in, the offensive lineman, his hands is going to be out here. So when I come inside right here with my hat, we call this kiss the lips, face mask to face mask. Once the offensive lineman come right in here, I'm going from here and I'm lifting the elbow. As I'm lifting the elbow, I'm throwing my hips. I'm grabbing this elbow. I'm tossing it right here, and I'm finishing with a rip in. Akeem Nicks, man, he's been great at grabbing wrists, grabbing elbows, and getting offensive linemen hands off for the last few years. But man, he got to stay healthy.
Yeah, you got to stay healthy. Do you expect a better year out of Vita Vea? We know that he's had his injury troubles, but again, he looks like he's faster. He's developing moves. What can you see? What's the expectation you think for him? Watching him work with you, do you think he could have even better year? That he's progressed and gotten even better as a player?
Oh, absolutely. One thing I would be working with Vita Vea. He's prioritized, being healthy. Working harder, training smarter, just everything to keep his body intact so he can last throughout the whole football season. That is a priority. His technique in working and perfecting his crafts off of his moves, working off his power, working off his rip, working off his, like you saw in the video, his movement right there, just so he can make and have even more consistent production. But yes, the priority of him getting healthy as well as emphasizing the techniques in his training is something that he's putting in priority with himself. Yes.
All right. We always talk about Nacho. What's his progression look like?
For Nacho, man, my dog, Nacho. Man, Nacho, is it good to call it a fan favorite for the Buccaneers?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean,
yeah.
I know we've had his mother on here, Mama Nacho, before.
Yeah.
I talked to her sometimes on Facebook. She's excited. Of course, she's the proud mama. But I tell you right now, I look at him every year. It seems like he's getting better. It looks like
absolutely.
Okay.
Me and Nacho, man, we were sitting down watching film, breaking film down and whatnot. Man, he from last year, even from day one, he was a guy that you guys picked up from the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Wasn't really looked at as this and that, and then every year he progressively got better in some parts of his game. The very first year he came in, okay, y'all saw he was a dog. As he started coming into training camp, when we first met Blake, we saw this guy. Dang, who was this guy flashing? He put the work in to work his moves and this and that. Injuries happen. He gets a chance to start. Does a great job working on starting. This year, you see him with more pressures, a little more QB hits. But now, as he keeps getting better and better, those are things that you see as a coach or GM. And also, everybody love Nacho. Oh, man, he's cracking jokes. He's talking about your cousin. He's talking about your hairline. He's talking about everything else. But that, and then the visual seeing of him getting better and better each year, that gives you confident as an organization and confident as a player. But yeah, he is there for him for the taking, man, and he's ready to take that next step.
What's the difference between Nacho a couple years ago and now? Expound on it a little bit. What has gotten better in his game? Okay,
let me tell you this from just and it's not just related to Nacho. It relates to a lot of defensive tackles or interior D linemen that they go throughout their career. So let's just say I go to a university. It doesn't matter the university or whatnot. Sure. They train and they coach and teach me to fit their strategy at whatever university I go to. So I go there for 3-4 years. So whatever I learn is engraved in my hand. If I was heavily taught run techniques, I'm gonna be a run stuffer. If I was heavily taught pass rush, okay, I will be a great pass rusher. So as he goes into the league, he's not necessarily super familiar with each one of the moves. Now, when guys come to us, this and that, we'll work off of what their God-given ability or what they've done, and we'll add into the move. So one thing Nacho got, that boy got power. Y'all need to check the tape. That boy put people on the T-shirt. He baptized a lot of people. He's going to sell his power. Then throughout the years, he progressed in what? A little bit of his finesse. Okay, I use my power. Now let me set him up with the cross chop. Last year we worked a lot of the slap rip, and then we worked the Reggie White hump. There was which game was it specifically? It was the Eagles. It was a 3rd and 7. Man, Nacho did a great move. He came in, hit the cross chop. He threw a rip. Then he came in with the hump. Slide protection came to him. If you guys don't know what slide protection is, that's when the flow of the offensive lineman heads in your direction. He came in, he humped him. Flow came to him. The center came to him. He humped the second man. Now he caused the pressure. 3 and out. Now the Eagles came in and punted on in. But that's the way. So step 1, understanding the moves. Step 2, let's work the moves. Step 3, now let's add some production on it. So now we in the step 3 phase, man.
Step 3 phase, and in the step 3 phase right now is looking good for him, and it looks like he's going to get more time. I know he's a rotational player, but he's going to make an impact. Do you think him coming in as a run stuffer, that he'll be able to get after the quarterback? Kind of reminds me of Will Golston, not a guy who could necessarily get after the quarterbacks, not putting up big numbers, but he seems like he's getting better and better with age. Is that what you see with the Nacho?
Oh, yeah. But going back to Will, man, you guys love Will. Hey, here's what I learned. Will is the man in Tampa Bay. Hey, if we at a restaurant, Big Will, Will, get up out your seat, man. Will Golston's in the building. So enough of that. But with Will Golston, man, his versatility playing inside, outside is unique. Some guys who's been playing the 5 throughout majority of the career, they're not really comfortable going in on the 3 or even going in on the 4-out. Man, Will's been very versatile throughout his career, and he's been he's seen the great times and the bad times in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last, I would say 8 years this is his 10th year. He's been there for 10 years. So he didn't see everything, man, and stuck with it. But same deal as Nacho. And you, like I said, with the tendencies and teams, if you can see progress within the organization, and he's a great locker room guy, that's something that the Buccaneers can grow with. Last year, I believe it was last year or the year before, you guys brought back, what was it, all but one of the starters on the defense?
Correct.
Am I correct?
Well, they brought basically everybody back.
They basically brought everybody back, but they're not keeping guys who can't add value to the team. If you're not first, like I said earlier, if you're not a dog, all right, you're off the list. If you're not working towards your technique and gaining production, you're off the list. If you can't play, or if you're unable to play multiple positions, I'm specifically in the front 7 for Tampa Bay, you're not a highly important person on their depth chart or their radar. So you can see what the teams put importance in their priority throughout the guys they keep in the track record they have with current and also former players.
And we're on with the Samurai Sack, Coach Des Walker of the Chuck Smith Systems. Once again, go ahead and promote yourself, and we'll get to Logan Hall here. Talk about what you guys do there in Atlanta, Georgia.
What's going on, y'all? I'm Coach Des Walker, pass rush specialist at Chuck Smith Training System. If you need double-digit sacks, or if you know somebody need double-digit sacks, you got a cousin that need double-digit sacks, I'm the guy they go to, man. I teach them how to use their hands, side scissors, cross chop, slap rip, head fake, in and out. I teach these guys how to understand their angles. I teach them how to play multiple positions and how to use their moves in multiple positions in the front 7. I'm your coach, Des Walker, a.k.a. Samurai Sack.
All right, let's go out to the comments, and then we'll get on Logan Hall. Let's go out to Juana. Loving the cap for sure, Harry. Juana, again, yes, Peter, I agree 100% with what you said about double standard. Juana says, hi, Samurai. Mike says, my guys. What's going on, Mike Hughes there in Chicago? Love you, brother. Hey, y'all, you better take care of that guy, Akeem. And Mike again says, Hicks makes you want to run through a wall. With that being said, you talked about the versatility. with the Golston not only being able to play the defensive tackle position, but also the outside. Do you think that played into the fact of getting a Logan Hall? With that being said, we also heard that Warren Sapp was working with them and comments and saying, this is the new defensive tackle, guy like 6'5", 6'6". Do you agree with Sapp's assessment?
I don't want to go too hard on it because I didn't really go into seeing 100% what Sapp says, but I will say this from what I'm seeing of the new D tacklers or whatnot. Guys like Aaron Donald, and you see guys like Grady Jarrett, you see guys like
and you worked with all these players, by the way.
Yeah, but specifically Grady and Chuck has been training Aaron Donald since coming out the draft, but very familiar with a lot of these guys, and it's almost this. The college scouts are grading height of a player differently than the NFL scouts. NFL scouts, they're going to try and compare you to somebody, and the comparison might be true, and sometimes the comparisons might be unfair. So at the end of the day, no matter you're 6'5", you're 6'2", you're 6 foot, guys are going to put production in the NFL. They're going to put production over everything. As you can see right now, there's so many different guys. There's so many different. We got heck, even on the edge, we got Marcus Golston out of Arizona Cardinals, another double-digit sack season, and he's about maybe 6'1". These D tackles are if you're smaller, they want you agile, they want you stout. Now you're getting them guys like them Jordan Davis, them what can I say, Richard Seymour type build. They love those type build, but at the end of the day, no matter how tall, small, or whatnot, the best D tackle in the league, he's 6'1", maybe 6'1" right there. And they value production over everything. But the course of you being a shorter D tackle or whatnot is going to be more difficult because you have to show these guys off rip. And we didn't seen it throughout the whole NFL as you've been covering the Bucs for a long time now. Having the physical physique of being taller or whatnot does get you by, but there's a time where all that does not matter, and you will get cut if you're not producing.
It's a production business. What do you see the biggest transition that Mr. Hall is going to have to make for this Bucs team? Because we know they have Vita Vea. We know they have Hicks. We assume that Hall is going to be a big part of that rotation. What's going to be the most difficult factor or facet of his game that's going to have to transition to the National Football League, in your opinion?
Okay, I got you right here. So for Big Hall, here's one thing I'll say about the Bucs. And like I said, when I was running there working with them guys and even speaking to them guys and whatnot, these guys like each other. These guys are real life hangout. These guys real life go fishing and do multiple things with each other. He needs to fit in from not only outside of the locker room, but also on the field. These guys are what Will Golston, 10 years in the league. Nacho, he's 8 years in. Vita Vea is 5, I believe.
4 or 5 years,
4 or 5, I believe. So they got these guys are veteran guys. You know what I mean? Sue was 12 years or whatnot. So when you come into a veteran group and the guys that understand how to work from a coaching standpoint, you like, all right, I got a developmental guy, but shoot, I'm trying to win now. Y'all got the GOAT, right? Y'all got the GOAT, Brady. There's no time for experiment left and right. So not only just getting the playbook right, but now, okay, you get the playbook right. How is he playing on the field? How is he understanding his checks call? How is he? So there's a lot of things of just not only just being, I got picked up, well, I'm good. Tryon, I had a good talk with Tryon being down there. Man, he's excited, dog. This dude has another year within his playbook, and it's not only, he's also putting the time in the work of working his moves and crafting. When it's that second year, it's like, that fresh breath. I understand what's going on around me to ultimately let me play faster. But to answer your question, all in all, what I just said, he needs to be able to fit in.
Right, and you talk about JTS, and of course, big time expectations with them letting JPP go. Now it's on JTS. I mean, we heard from Jason Light. He's got to work on playing more inside. Go ahead and expound on what Light may be getting at. Obviously, it's against the run, right?
Playing inside, mostly specifically is like I was going referring to you back to that Super Bowl. Vita Vea, they were able to what? Sue and Vita Vea were able to go on the defensive, play defensive end, and JPP and what's bro name again?
Yes.
Oh, JPP, the guy on the other. Oh, Shaq.
Oh, Shaq Barrett.
Shaq, yeah.
Yeah,
Remember during the Super Bowl, they put what? Sue on the outside. They put on the other Sue on the outside. Vita Vea on this side. Then they put Shaq on this side. They put JPP on this side. So those guys were able to rush from all different areas of the field. So not only just playing for the run or whatnot, because obviously they can do what? RPOs, they can do draw plays, they can do a lot of plays to essentially get the mismatch that they want. But dog, like I said, versatility is very valued for the Buccaneers organization. So the expectation of him learning how to rush from the edge and learning how to rush from the three is what's going to add more value to the team. And like you said, expectations is big.
Double-digit sacker next year, you expect? Or this year, do you expect JTS to really take that next step? And why is he going to take that next step, in your opinion?
I'll say this. He has no choice but to take the next step. You know how this league works. But having a year under your belt gives you the confidence to know what you're doing. I'm not going to put no expectation. I'm not going to say anything to the Bucs fans. Oh, he's the next this and that. I'm saying this. Having the awareness of what's going on behind you and in front of you as a defender and understanding your role on the defense is going to allow him to play much faster.
How much of a loss is Rob Gronkowski to the Bucs offense? A lot of people talk about his pass catching ability, but I always go back to the inline blocking. You know, you have defensive ends, you teach it, you see Rob. How much of a loss is it to this offense for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in your opinion?
Oh, I got you. All right, I'm going to give you a little story. No matter of fact, I'm going to tell you today. So, I was playing pickup basketball today, man. I'm playing pickup basketball. I just woke up like, man, I'm about to go hoop today. I'm about to just get some work in. So, I come out the gate, and I just got this story today, so you got to flow with me, Blake. So I'm at the gate. I'm over here. I'm hitting threes. I'm going crazy. I'm going from I'm shooting from Jimmy range. I'm shooting from Steph Curry land or whatnot. So then I got these 18, 16-year-olds. They still quicker than me. They can move left and right. But to the fact of with Rob is he can, even though if he's having a good game or a bad game, he's a diversion. He's a decoy. So he's a great decoy that can relieve the pressure off the guys like Mike Evans. He's a decoy that can help open up their offense to allow them to not double coverage one guy. So going back to my basketball reference is when someone is hot and you have the game plan around somebody, there's no game plan for Rob Gronkowski. So now as he's not in the offense, it makes it so much easier for who guys they can key on. But Leonard Fournette has to take that next step. It's open up from here. And throughout history, we've been seeing guys like when Tom Brady had multiple running backs or whatnot that did great, that helped him a lot as well. So the running game's going to have to pick up, and not having that decoy is going to hurt.
Well, not only having that decoy, but also, again, the inline blocker. Tell you what, let's go out to Curtis. Curtis, welcome to the Evolution. You're all right there? You're coughing it up there. You're on with yours truly, along with the Samurai Sack, Coach Des Walker of the Chuck Smith Systems. What do you have to say, my friend?
Hey, man, that's my medicine from the dispenser, man. Calm down.
All right, your medicine. All right. Okay, I'm glad you're all right. Yes.
Listen, I agree with him, though, but about JTS, man. That kid, he had a lot of flashes. He had a lot of flashes. And if he puts in the time and the effort to learn the playbook even better and to work on his technique, that kid could be he could potentially have a great career in Tampa.
Do you think the game slows down for him in that second year, Samurai?
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's tremendously. You know the expectation and you know your role.
Yeah, plus all the experience around him. You know, Shaq's going to be in his head. You know, Hicks is going to be in his head. Vita's going to be in his head. Like these guys are gonna be like, look, all we need you to do is okay. It reminds me of the year, not that year, but you know, Tony Dungy. He told the Bucs defense, if you do your job and all the guys behind you do your job, we'll be okay.
And they were.
Just do your job.
That's it. Do your job. That's absolutely right.
Follow the scheme. And you know that kid showed greatness. You could tell his timing was off on a lot of the plays. You know what I'm saying? He got a couple roughing the passers. You know, he overran the quarterback and thing. His timing was off. You know what I'm saying? I mean, didn't he sit out a whole year before he got drafted?
Yeah, and there was a COVID concerns and stuff like that.
Yeah,
right. So
I love Nacho. I love Nacho.
Yeah, big
I think we all love Nacho.
Yeah,
and I mean,
I love Will. I love Will to death. Like Will, that guy has seen the best and the worst of this team. Him, Mike Evans, Levante David, those guys have seen the best and the worst of this team.
They have.
And Mike Evans deserves a contract extension. They need to pay that man. Okay.
Well, the guy keeps on, trying to help out the team with, redoing contracts. I think it's amazing on his part.
And I take my hat off to him.
Right.
Because like I said, we've had this conversation before, Peter. This guy is the most humble superstar I've ever seen in my life. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he really is. Go ahead.
Hey, call it a bean. Y'all need to keep that dude. He needs to retire a Bucs. He don't need to go nowhere else. Y'all, no matter what happens to him, he needs to retire a Bucs, man. Hey, tell him how you really feel about it.
Yes, I mean, I got it. Consecutive 1,000-yard wide receiving seasons is amazing. He should absolutely retire a Buccaneer. And anybody thinking about getting rid of him is an idiot. So
now, let me say this.
Yes,
me and my buddy, we actually did our research the other day.
Okay.
Him and what is that guy's name? Plays for the Raiders now. Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams.
Yep.
Yes.
They got drafted the same year. Adams went in the second round.
Wow.
Adam went in the second round. Now, Adams was the target for Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
I mean, listen, 9 times out of 10, when Aaron Rodgers dropped back, we knew who the ball was going to.
Of course.
Every single time.
Still couldn't stop it.
Exactly. But over the past 3 or 4 years, I mean, ever since, Winston's had that 5,000-yard season, Mike Evans has still been getting his. And if you look at if you go and compare their numbers, Devontae has the catches, but Mike Evans is beating him everywhere else.
He is beating everywhere else. And
everywhere else. Yards per catch, overall yards, touchdowns. He's beating them all.
And the difference is, not taking the $28 million to put your team in salary cap hell. And I get it. The Raiders may have had that money and he has the market value for it. But, with Mike Evans doing what he does, he gives the Bucs that flexibility to go out there and still be competitive. Now, who knows what the Raiders or the Packers are going to do? Of course, with
and I feel the same way about Godwin. I mean, come on, if Godwin wouldn't have tore his ACL at the end of the season,
Mike Williams gets more money than Chris Godwin. Really, the wide receiver down in Jacksonville gets more money than Chris Godwin. Come on, man. Come on.
And that's what I was saying. Listen, to me, I've always said this to you, Peter, and you can agree or not agree. To me, Chris Godwin, he's basically Hines Ward all over again. This guy is your utility receiver. He's going to do everything.
He's going to do everything.
He's going to do it. And he's going to do a great job at it.
Yep. You're exactly right.
What did he have? 98 catches before he got hurt? Are you serious?
It's a shame. Such a shame. Such a shame. He was on his way to 100 reception year with the year he was having, and so integral to this offense. So I hope he comes back. I don't know if he's going to come back 100%, but I have faith in the Buccaneer organization, and I have faith in Chris Godwin. He knows his body.
What you love about the guys, you can put the guy anywhere.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. The versatility. Like I said, versatile players. Offense, defense, same deal, man. These guys want versatile players. And the leadership of Brady and the leadership of Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. You see that.
Yeah.
What was the difference? You get a Super Bowl.
It's like the guy that's like the young kid on our defense, Mike Edwards. You can put this guy pretty much anywhere in secondary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anywhere.
You're absolutely right. And that's a good thing. That's definitely a good thing. Curtis, anything else here?
No, man, just go Bucs, man. I'm ready for the season to start.
I'm ready for the season too. Let me give you.
Listen, I'm sitting here watching TV every day. I'm like, man, I'm tired of hearing about what's finna happen. Can training camp start today? Like, can I get
Kurt ready?
It would be nice, Kurt. I mean, it really would, but it doesn't start until the middle of July there.
But you know what? I have faith in this team, and you know what? I'm going to tell you something. You can see the disappointment in the eyes of these players that was here last year.
Oh yeah.
We were on the verge. We were on the edge, and listen, we've had this conversation.
Yep.
There were bad calls in that Rams game, but you know what? It's the NFL. Effed up calls happen all the time.
That's it, and it's not for long. And if your defense is not good enough, and look, Sue on that last play, maybe if he's a little bit faster, maybe that's what the Buccaneer organization is looking at, saying we upgraded with Akeem Hicks. Good stuff, Mr. Curtis. Let me go. Yes.
You know me. For one thing, I'm going to say this one last thing.
Yes.
When Brady got hit in the mouth and his mouth was bleeding.
Right.
If that would have been any other team, I feel like the refs have something out for my Bucs. But if that would have been Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes,
right,
or Josh Allen,
right,
and they got hit in the mouth like that, and they bleeding blood on national TV out of their mouth, man, they would have had every flag in America on the field.
Well, it goes back to what Brady said that week. You remember he was talking about how he gets away with not getting those 15-yard penalties, and sure enough, somebody decided to call a 15-yard penalty on him. So it's like, the refs are petty too. They're definitely petty, but you're exactly right. If you're going to call safety issues into question and you hit a guy right in his mouth, Von Miller, then it should be a penalty, and it wasn't. So it was a missed call, but you definitely didn't miss tonight, Curtis. Let me go ahead and give you the woo. Appreciate you as always, man. Thanks a lot for the call.
I do got one question for the Samurai.
Yes.
What's going on?
Give it to him.
My son is actually starting his first year of varsity football, and they got him at DT. I would love to have you show him some things.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
I'd love to have you send him some videos or something. This kid he's a monster. He's 15 years old. He's 6'2". He's 245 pounds. He's a monster.
Okay. He's big, thick. All right. Yeah.
What's the number? Because I'm going to write the number down right now. What's the number, Curtis? You look at the screen here. Give him the number.
How about I have Peter? I'll just give you got my number, Peter. Just pass it on to him for me.
Okay, sounds good. We'll do. Yep. We'll do, my friend.
All right, I appreciate you. Hey, I appreciate you guys, man.
Absolutely, Curtis. We'll be in touch.
Good stuff,
right,
Curtis.
brother,
Thanks
so
a lot. One of my favorite callers there, Mr. Curtis from Newport. Richie getting his medication, if you will. We'll just say it like that. So give me a comp on a Logan Hall. I kind of see Calais Campbell.
That's strong, man. That's that's a strong comparison, man. Because Calais has been doing it for, I think Calais maybe on 12, maybe 11, 12. But I see what you mean. Size and stature and yeah. But a lot of things that Calais has developed throughout the years, and he even came in, man, he was very technical. One thing that Calais and not only Calais, but a lot of these guys in these types in the NFL, they have to be more than power. Power is great, but if you use power so much, first thing everyone's gonna tell you is tiring. You can't just use power every time because it's tiring. So you have to develop moves and different counter moves off of your power. So the biggest part with Logan Hall and only time will tell. Here's what I want you to take away with Blake before I head out or whatnot.
Yeah, sure.
When you have a great player on your team, and you've been covering the Bucs for a long time, and no matter what team you is, and he's in the front seven, he's a pass rusher, you should be able to close your eyes and already know what move he does. So, Peter, I want you to do this since you've been a football fan for the longest. Close your eyes right now.
Okay, closing my eyes.
What move did Dwight Freeney do?
Well, he had a speed rush, and then he also had a little bit of a bull move, and then he also had the spin move too. The spin move is probably what his
Keep your eyes closed. You on fire right now. You ain't gotta say no more.
Okay.
I got another one for you.
Okay.
What did Reggie White do?
Oh, the slap to the helmet and
Okay.
and the bull rush move. I mean, just bowling people over, bowling offensive linemen over.
He was a bully. And
Yes.
he came in with that, and he had the meanest hump ever. He was tossing and clubbing guys.
Yes.
All right. So, you're going to get this one. Coach, keep your eyes closed. You got one more. You 2 for 2. Last one.
Okay.
Warren Sapp.
Oh, Warren Sapp. I mean, to me, I think it was he had a little bit of power, a little bit of bull, but also he could move his hands. He could he push the guy to the left and just get on there with his his first step.
I got you. Yeah.
Quickness. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, man. You're able to visualize and see what these guys truly do. So when you try to evaluate these other players or whatnot, or people are so quick to call guys great, but you can't close your eyes and truly see what they do. If I close my eyes, I know Max Crosby's spinning off a 4-step. If I close my eyes, I know my Von Miller's coming in, hitting with a long arm and coming with the gloves. If I close my eyes, I can see Warren Sapp in my head coming with a cross chop, slap, rip, and like you said, stutter bull with the power. So when you evaluate these guys and you want to see, as fans, you guys watch the game, you can see what these guys do. I mean, you ain't got to be, Samurai Sagan. You ain't got to be no expert because what? It's the eye test of it. So the eye test I'm going to give you guys and the fans out there, what are the pass rushers in front of you doing right now? You guys, Aiden Hutchinson, I didn't watch him in college, but I want to see what he does for my Detroit Lions this year. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying? So,
I love that pick, by the way.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Walker, I don't like the pick. That's more potential. To me, he's more bust than boom, but we've talked about this on the show. We'll see what happens with the Jacksonville Jaguars, but I like more of Hutchinson. I get what they're saying. He's somewhat of a finished product, possibly could be a Jared Allen type. I'm okay with that. I like Jared Allen. I like it too, Bosa.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I mean,
so with Logan, going back to your man's Logan, I can't close my eyes and know what he does yet.
Okay.
I can't even just make up something to tell you right now. This. When we get the film and what we see and what we like, we can talk about his stature and size and this and that. But what's going to matter is what we can see with our eyes closed of what he's going to do during the game. So that's what I want to see from my man's Big Logan. I don't want to compare him. Don't want to set the expectation right here. I want to see how he fits in and what we can see from him with our eyes closed.
All right. How good is Max Crosby for the Raiders? I mean, is he becoming the best defensive end in his position? You see him every year getting progressively better and better. And I cannot believe he was a mid-round pick for the Raiders. How did so many scouts miss out on Mad Max?
Let me tell you about Mad Max. Number one, they call him Mad Max for a reason. Because he's a straight junkyard dog, man. These guys have slept on him. And one thing with Mad Max, he's a culture changer, man. He's a culture changer. So I told you guys, I'm from Detroit, Michigan right now. And the state of Michigan, let me not throwing no shade or whatnot. Eastern Michigan and Ypsilanti, Michigan. It's not really it's not, hey, man, we're going to Saturday night, we're going to Eastern Michigan. You're not really thinking of that. But when he went to Eastern Michigan, he established a culture of like, man, I love this school. Man, he loved that school so hard, he got it tatted on his wrist, which is like, oh, wow, he really loves. So every time I see Max, I'm like, oh, what's up, Max? Eastern, straight out of Ipsy, out of all that happened, just a little insider joke or whatnot. But they didn't understand the dog factor and the what he can impact and do for a franchise. If you can elevate, like we see these college players, if you can elevate a team, you have that leadership trait to elevate a franchise. That's one thing I look at that's big. The next thing, he goes to the Raiders. Now they see not only he gets sacked, but they saw through the college film that he had technique, and he goes out and he's he gets double-digit sacks. Man, working with Max, man, when we work with Max he's very focused and detail-oriented, and he has that it factor not only as a leader, but as well as putting the work in and understanding the details of what he wants to do. One thing, Max Crosby, he led the league he led the league in percentage winning against offensive tackle, and he ended up, I think, like 9.5. But even with that, when you cause pressure in them QB hits and you leading with them win percentages, man, it's a lot. Snap, dead balls. There's a lot of throwing it out of bounds or whatnot. So that helps perception pressure for the quarterback where they're never at ease. They always got to figure out, where's Max? They always got to attend for where he's at. And yes, he's one of the top pass rushers in the NFL. But he has like I told you, he has an understanding of who he is. He added in specifically the outside spin move to his game this year. And him being partnered up with Chandler Jones this year, man, best duo in the NFL.
Really?
Best duo. The second one I got Khalil and Joey gonna be the second two. But number one, give me Bosa and not Bosa. Give me Max and Chandler Jones. Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be fun to watch.
Well, they're both in the same division, and that's why I think the Chargers, I mean, they did some things in the offseason, especially adding Khalil Mack. People talk about his injury history, but if he could stay healthy, you do definitely have two bookend defensive ends and a Bosa, and of course the Khalil Mack. With that being said, speaking of a bookend outside rusher, how about Von Miller and that big-time contract he signed with the Buffalo Bills? How much of an impact can he make on those Bills? And do you think that defense takes that next step with the Miller?
Oh, absolutely. One thing, if you look through Von Miller's career, when he's on a winning team or he has a great offense that can get up in the scoreboard, you didn't release the monster. Because now he's not, I mean, your percentage of running is very low because you're going to run the clock out. So what? He's rushing every play. Yeah. He's rushing every play, and he's going to set up his moves so he might not get a sack the first quarter. He might not get a sack the third quarter. Now he's going ballistic the third and the fourth quarter because he set you up. But that offense is going to be the biggest key for Von's success because what? Allen can get the ball out there on his receivers, and they're going to get up fast. So when Von's on a team that got a great offense, man, he's able to produce tremendously.
Love it. Good stuff there. Always love talking football with the Samurai Sack himself, Mr. Des Walker, Coach Des Walker of the Chuck Smith Systems. Go ahead and promote yourself, my friend, here on the Evolution.
What's going on, y'all? I'm Coach Des Walker, a.k.a. Samurai Sack. If you want to get sacks, man, you come to me. College, high school, NFL, youth, no matter what the age, if you want to get in contact, you want to be a part of our program at Chuck Smith Training System, give me a call. Ask for Coach Walker at 833-222-7225, at 833-222-7225. Live life every day like it's 3rd and 8.
Love it. There you go. The Samurai Sack here on the Evolution. Coach Des Walker, thanks a lot for your time here on the Sports Web. All right, my friend?
Appreciate it, Blake. I'll catch you later, man.
All right, there you go. Good stuff there. I mean, I don't know how you didn't like that interview. I mean, he's breaking down the entire Bucs defensive line, and it'll be up there. Go and like I Love St. Pete, the Hub, and Amped Up Sports on Facebook. Go like and follow the Sports Web on YouTube. We'll read these comments, and then we'll get you out of here for the night. Good stuff there by Coach Des. Love it. He always brings it, man. He always gives you the insight. He takes you behind the curtain. That's why I continue to have the coach on. He is truly the Samurai Sack.
Flawless victory.
It was a flawless victory. We'll go to Mortal Kombat with that comment there. Very nice, Samurai. Bring back Gruden. Don't know why you're saying that. Gronk, oh my God, he's past his prime, bro. How about this? Not a genius, but here's a great idea. Why not forget about Gronk and draft a young tight end and develop him to be a great tight end? Because still, Gronk is an important part of your offense, with 80% of the time with him being involved in it. I mean, how hard is that, Rex Grossman? Sometimes you're really dense, dude. Seriously. JTS is going to be a beast. I agree. F. Warren Sapp says Rex Grossman. All right. Wanda MacArthur says you definitely know what you're talking about, Coach Samurai. That's why we got him on here. We don't got guys off the street. We got guys that have trained NFL athletes. We've got guys that have trained college athletes. We've got guys that have trained high school athletes. They're in the know. They know what they're talking about. Not blowing smoke here. And you don't want that smoke from that coach because that coach knows what he's talking about. Love to go up to Georgia sometime, film some footage, interview some guys. Who knows? We'll see what is in the future for the sports web. Let's go out to Juana. It was a great interview by Coach Samurai. Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So with that being said, thanks to all the guests for the night. Mr. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire, 1252 Chicago Sports, the legend Leo Haggerty of Amped Up Sports, and of course, Mr. Samurai Sack himself, Des Walker. Let's go ahead and read this comment. And we get guys off the street on this show. And once again, this is what you get. All right, guys, 3 things to wrap it up for the night. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time, and it's your time. Have a great night.
Uncle Peter. Uncle Peter. Uncle Peter. Where's Uncle Peter?